Hi, this is a Yesterday's Moose production, and today we're playing Donkey Kong Jr., the tabletop game. Or at least, an emulation of the tabletop game, which is interesting. I'd really like to know how this was emulated. Did somebody actually go through the process programming this as an emulation, or did they go into the chip of the actual game and copy it and then just make the graphics? I don't know. But I actually used to have this game, and it looked exactly like this. But I won't be playing this one, and the reason for that is because when you zoom in on the screen, like so, as you can see, part of it is sliding off the bottom of the screen there. It's off center. You got this black bar on the top. Why is that? I don't know. So we'll just pause this for a moment and take up with the version that I'm actually going to be playing. Alright, here's the actual version that I'm going to be playing. As you can see, it is red in color. The one that I used to have was the previous color that I showed you before, and as you can see when you zoom in, it looks like it's supposed to. The attention to detail on this is pretty amazing. When you press jump, the jump button actually compresses there on the video version. However, if you move the control around, the joystick doesn't move. And I think that should have been corrected. I think that if you move, the joystick on the bottom there should move. But when you press game A or game B, or time, I guess, it'll show information. Let's press the help. How do I get the time? This button? Okay, there we go. Time, yes. So, is that correct? Is that the correct time? No, it is not. It is not the correct time. So, let's just go ahead and start game A. So, first you gotta get the key, and then the objective is to, of course, go over there and free Donkey Kong by getting the key into that lock. And you have to do this by riding on the umbrellas, which constantly fall, and then transferring over to the balloon, which constantly floats up. The only weapon that you have is this coconut that you can drop on these birds, which are your only enemy, and you can do this when there's no coconut there. The birds will gradually get faster and faster. And hopefully I can play well enough to free Donkey Kong. You have to remove all of the chains in order to succeed. And as a kid, I was very obsessive about games. A lot more so than I am now. And I got so good at this game that I could just go on forever and ever. And the birds would just get faster and faster, and there'd be more and more of them. What? How did I miss that bird there? I don't know. So let's go ahead and zoom in, shall we? And the funny thing about the actual version of this game is that first it operated on 2 D-size batteries. And if you're not familiar with D-size batteries, they are gigantic and heavy. And I'm not sure how long they lasted. And another thing is that I don't think that they actually illuminated the screen itself, or maybe the backgrounds specifically, because it powered the game, however it did not light it up. From what I recall, the game was not backlit. There was actually a window type thing on the top of the game where light would shine through and actually illuminate the screen. So if you were playing this in the dark, you were completely out of luck. So you had to basically play under a lamp, or maybe outside in the bright sun. That's really the only way it would work properly. Oh, and I took a risk by going there, and it did not pay off. And you can basically only avoid the birds down there by jumping. And Donkey Kong Jr. will jump in the air just long enough for you to avoid the bird, if your timing is right. Otherwise, in every other place on the board, or the screen, whatever you want to call it, you have to avoid them, because they will get you. I did it! So I thought about calling these short videos Moose Minute, but then I thought, well, that might be a little silly because the video is going to be longer than a minute. But they're definitely not going to be long videos. And I'm still looking for a suggestion for a game that I can play before I pick up with the Wonder Boy series again. So I just picked this one because it's short and I have nostalgia for it. I'm playing this on the Super Console X, and it has a lot of these Game & Watch games. And again, I'm still really curious about how they were able to port these over. There was also a Pac-Man one that I remember. It does exist as one of the games that you can play. Well, that looks like it's going to be it for Game A, but let's go ahead and start Game B, shall we? Alright, bonus! Here's the Pac-Man that I'm currently talking about. I'm recording this after the fact, but I'm going to edit it in, because why not? I can turn it from AMA to Pro, which I guess is amateur and professional. So here we go. I'm Pac-Man. Oh, and I just noticed that the controls actually press on this one. Wow. Attention to detail. That's cool. Now, what's stupid about this Pac-Man game is, one, the controls are pretty pathetic on this ported version of it. And another thing is that you don't seem to be able to eat the Pac pellets when you approach them from the wrong direction. So let's zoom in. By the way, the ghosts are all red. And then when you eat the Pac pellets, or the power pellet, or whatever it is, they blink? They don't even blink. What am I talking about? Look, I didn't eat it. I'll prove it again. I did not eat those Pac pellets. What's going on? So the controls are really stiff on this. Really, really stiff. I'm having a hard time controlling Pac-Man. I'll press a direction and Pac-Man will not move in that direction. I don't know why. Maybe it's the port, maybe it was always like this. Now, I'm not going to be able to eat it backwards, so I'm going to have to die. That's awesome. Isn't that awesome? Don't we love this version of Pac-Man? Isn't this the best? Let me at least eat that last Pac pellet there. No! No! Okay, editing time. I'm going to eat that last Pac pellet if it's the last thing I do. And we're back. There's 2 Pac pellets left and a power pellet, so I should be able to get it. So what happens when I eat this last pack pellet? Nothing. I don't even get any celebratory music. Wow. Let down. Okay, that's it for Pac-Man. Back to Donkey Kong Jr. Alright, let's go ahead and start Game B. How exactly do I do that? I press that. And how is Game B different from Game A? Well, I'm pretty sure it's harder. So I was going to say that there is a Pac-Man game on this collection of ports on the Game & Watch, and it's an old Pac-Man tabletop with LED graphics. From what I remember, that one was backlit with LEDs, and it was pretty pathetic. It was not even remotely close to the arcade version of Pac-Man. But at that point in time, that was pretty much your only option, unless maybe you had the Atari 2600. And from what I've heard, even if you had that, you were probably not very happy with how it turned out. I did play it once, way back when I was in kindergarten or preschool. I don't know exactly. I have just such vague memories of that time. But I do remember that game. I also remember at that same place there was a monarch butterfly, or rather a monarch caterpillar that eventually turned into a butterfly. It was pretty neat. Another Game & Watch type thing that I had was this one with where you were some sort of battleship fighting off planes. And again, I got so sickeningly good at that I could just keep going and going and going till the battery was dead, pretty much. I'm not sure if I had more skill as a child or just a lot more patience. Either way, I was obsessive about video games. For example, on the Intellivision, I got really good at Lock and Chase, which is a game where you're a thief trying to collect treasures and avoid cops. And also got good at what's it called? Darkstalker, I believe, or something. And Shark was one of my favorite Intellivision games, and I'm pretty confident that I could beat the high score on that game if I were to try. I did make a Let's Play of it that's on my channel right now, but the quality is not very good, and I keep saying that I will eventually go back and re-record that Let's Play in higher quality. And maybe I'll attempt the world record. Who knows? Would it even count if I were to do that? I don't know. Twin Galaxies is supposedly the organization that keeps track of video game records, and I'm not sure if they would count a Let's Play as an official attempt or not. Maybe if I just submitted the raw footage, that would be fine. But if I added the voiceover, I'm pretty sure that would be considered editing the video, in which case I'm not sure if it would qualify. Nevertheless, I would like to give it an attempt. Another game that I wanted to beat the world record for was Exciting Hour, otherwise known as Mat Mania, which is a wrestling game. And at one point in time I was able to beat at least the third placed highest score. And up until very recently it was not available on home systems, and then it became available on Nintendo Switch. Oh, by the way, I missed the lock, and that's what happens when you miss. Okay, so Exciting Hour became available on Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and attempt the world's record. First, I'll practice a bit and see how quickly I can get a score, how high can I get the score. And then some guy went and got 9,999,990 points, which was the maximum amount that you can get. And I was like, okay, this guy played the game for something like 12 hours straight, and I'm never, ever going to do that. And I couldn't possibly beat it if I tried. Because how can you beat the maximum score possible? The only thing you could do is play the game for like 24 hours straight, and then maybe they would consider you having a higher score, or at least more endurance. I was pretty bummed about that, and it's another game that I might let's play a little bit of while I'm taking a hiatus from Wonder Boy, 'cause why not? There's at least one trick that I know that I'm pretty confident that no one else knows, or if they do, they haven't posted it online. It's a very useless trick. It serves no purpose in the game. It really doesn't help you out. But it's interesting nonetheless. Oh, maybe two tricks, but I'm pretty sure that the other trick that I'm thinking of has been done. And I'm getting pretty close to being defeated here. Ah, there we go. Okay. So that's it for Donkey Kong Jr. the tabletop. Let's see it again. There it is. Jump, 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 jump. Alright. So with that, we'll just go ahead and end the video here. So thank you very much for watching. This has been a Yesterday's Moose production, and I'll see you next time.